Chapter 8. Yum. The warriors stared back at Jack and Annie. "We are helping one of your honey guys," said Annie. The warrior was as still as a statue. "We didn't mean to steal anything," Jack said. "In fact, it's all yours. We've had enough." "A lot of good honey is still there," Annie said, smiling. The warrior narrowed his eyes. "Is he angry?" Jack wondered. "I'm sorry, we were trespassing," said Jack. "We come in peace. In fact, we bring gifts." He picked up his backpack and held it out to the warrior. The warrior still didn't move. "This?" Jack held up his book. "Nothing." "Oh." Jack reached into his pack. He pulled out the big jar of peanut butter. "Peanut butter!" He pulled up the loaf of bread. "Bread! Hey! Hey! How about a peanut butter and honey sandwich?" "Yum!" Annie said, watching the warrior. The warrior stared at the food. "We'll show you," said Jack. As Jack unwrapped the bread, his hand shook. Annie opened the jar. "We don't have anything to spread it with," she said. "Use your fingers," said Jack. "Excuse me," Annie said to the warrior. "I have to use my fingers, but they are pretty clean. An elephant just do it, Annie," said Jack. Okay. She spread the peanut butter onto a slice of bread with her fingers. At the same time, Jack spread the honey from the beehive on another slice. Jack and Annie put their pieces of bread together. "Ta-da!" said Annie, handing the sandwich to the warrior. The warrior took the sandwich, but he didn't eat it. He just looked at it. "Let's make sandwiches for us, too," Jack said, "so he doesn't have to eat alone." They quickly made 2 more sandwiches. "See, like this," said Annie. She bit into her sandwich. Yum. Jack took a bite too. He said. It was really good. Finally, the warrior bit into his sandwich. He chewed slowly. "This is called a picnic," said Annie. They ate their sandwiches in silence. When they finished it, Jack screwed the lid back on the peanut butter jar. "Not bad, huh?" he said. The warrior smiled. He had a kind, dignified smile. Jack and Annie smiled back at him. Then the warrior turned gracefully and vanished into the trees. "Oh man," said Jack. Part of him wanted to follow the silent warrior through the shadowy forest. "Ready?" Annie asked softly. Jack nodded. Annie started to go. "Wait," said Jack. He put away the peanut butter and bread. "We are going back to the tree house, right? We are not going to do anything silly, like rescue anything or chase birds, right?" "Those things aren't silly," said Annie. "Don't forget that the bird gave us the answer to the riddle." "Oh, right," said Jack. He looked at the little honey guide. She was on the ground, pecking at the honeycomb. "Thanks," Jack said to the bird. "Have a good feast," said Annie. Jack put on his pack. Then he and Annie started out of the forest. When they passed the pond, they saw the elephant still splashing in the water. He lifted his trunk. He seemed to be waving at them. "See ya!" Annie shouted, waving back. They rounded the bend in the river, then started through the tall grass. As they walked back toward the tree house, they saw the wildebeest in the distance. There was still some crossing the river. They saw a family of zebras grazing together. They saw lone giraffes working from the tree to tree, eating the leaves. And they saw a bunch of lions sleeping in the shadow of a tree, the same tree that the tree house was in. "Oops," said Annie. Jack's heart gave a jump. "So there they are," he said. Chapter 9. Tiptoe. Jack and Annie crouched in the tall grass. There was a big lion, 3 lionesses, and a bunch of cubs. "I think they're sleeping," whispered Annie. "Yeah," said Jack. "But for how long?" He pulled the Africa book from his pack and opened it. He found a picture of lions sleeping under a tree. He read in a whispery voice. "After a pride of lions has eaten, they rest for a few hours. The other, what did they have for lunch?" And he broke in. "Don't ask," said Jack. He kept reading. "Sensing that the lions are not hunting at the moment, the other animals graze nearby. If they can graze, then we're safe," said Annie. She started to stand. "Wait!" Jack pulled her down. "Not so fast." He peered around. The words in the book seemed true. The zebras and giraffes didn't seem to be bothered by the lions at all. "They might be safe, but I'm not sure about us," said Jack. "We need a plan." "What if we wait till they leave?" said Annie. "That could take hours," said Jack. "Plus, they might be hungry again by then." "Oh, right," said Annie. "So here's the plan. We tiptoe," said Jack. "Tiptoe?" "Yeah." "That's your whole plan?" said Annie. "Yeah. Tiptoe to the rope ladder," said Jack. Very quickly. "Good plan." Annie teased. "Just do it," said Jack. He stood up slowly, and he stood with him. They began tiptoeing through the grass very slowly. The lion flicked his tail. Jack and Annie froze. When his tail was still again, they moved again. Suddenly, high-pitched laughter split the air. Jack and Annie stopped. The hyenas were back. They were standing up to the side, watching Jack and Annie. Jack and Annie made silent monster faces and shook their fists. But the hyenas only laughed some more. The big lion stared lazily. He opened his golden eyes. Jack felt the hair rise on the back of his neck, but he didn't move an inch. The lion lifted his head and yawned. His giant teeth gleamed in the sunlight. The lion turned his head as he looked around sleepily. Jack held his breath as the lion gazed rested on him. The lion sat straight up. His piercing yellow eyes met Jack's. Jack's heart raced. His mind raced. He remembered something he had read: lions avoid giraffes. Jack looked around. There was a giraffe working toward the tree that the magic tree house was in. Suddenly, he had a new plan. "Get under that giraffe," he whispered. "Now, you are the one who's not." Annie whispered back. But Jack grabbed her hand. He pulled her over to the giraffe and underneath it. The giraffe's legs were so long, Jack and Annie could stand up under it. Jack's head barely brushed the giraffe's golden belly. The tall creature froze for a few seconds. Then she moved slowly toward the tree. Jack and Annie worked in the same rhythm as the giraffe. They got closer and closer to the tree house, and closer to the crowd of lions. The big lion had stood up. He watched them moving under the giraffe. When the rope ladder was just a few feet away, Jack and Annie dashed out from under the giraffe to the rope ladder. Annie scrambled up first. Jack followed right behind her. As they climbed, the lion growled and leaped at the ladder. The hyena laughed. Jack climbed faster than he'd ever climbed. He leaped after Annie into the tree house. Annie had already unrolled the scroll. The riddle was gone. In its place was a shimmering word, honey. Jack grabbed the Pennsylvania book. He opened it and found the picture of the Pro Creek woods. I wish we could go there, he said. Just then, the giraffe stuck her head through the window. Bye, honey, said Annie, and she kissed the giraffe on the nose. The wind started to blow. The tree house started to spin. It spun faster and faster. Then everything was still, absolutely still. Chapter 10. After lunch, Jack opened his eyes. His heart was still racing. Hyena laughter still rang in his ears. We made it, said Annie. Yes, said Jack. But it was very close. Jack took another moment to calm down. Then he pulled the Africa book out of his pack and put it with the other books. And he put the scroll with the other two scrolls. The giraffe was the true honey on the trip, she said. Sweet and golden with danger all around it. Yup, Jack said. And now we have just one little to go. Yup, said Annie. Ready? Ready. She started down the ladder. Jack followed. When they hit the ground, they walked through the sunlit woods. It's time for lunch, said Jack. I'm full from our picnic, said Annie. Same here, said Jack. What do we tell Mom? Said Annie. We say we ate our sandwich coming back from the store, said Jack. What if she asks why? Said Annie. Just say we had a picnic with a Maasai warrior in Africa, said Jack. Annie laughed. Right, she said. Because we didn't want him to be mad at us for taking his honey. Right, said Jack. The honey from a beehive that the honey guys led us to. Right, said Annie. And that happened after an elephant gave me a shower, and we scared off two hyena. Right, said Jack. And after you fell into a mud hole because you were helping a million wildebeest migrate across a river. Right, said Annie. And all that was before a giraffe saved us from a lion. Right, said Jack. Jack and Annie left the Frog Creek woods and started up their sunny street. They were silent for a moment. Then Jack pushed his glasses into place. We better just say we ate our sandwich on the way home from the store, he said. Right, said Annie. And if Mom asks why, started Jack. We'll just say it's a really long story, said Annie. Right, said Jack. With like 10 chapters. Annie laughed. Good plan, she said. Very good plan, said Jack. They crossed their yard. They went up their steps and through their front door. We're back, Annie shouted. Great, called their mom. Ready for lunch?